Hi everyone, this is your coach Geeta Dubey, and today I'll be talking about assertiveness and why is it so important? What is it? How can it help me? What do I need to do to understand? So let's first understand what assertiveness is. Correct? Is it a normal what we do or it is something more? So assertiveness is ability to communicate your needs, feelings, opinions, and beliefs in an open and honest manner without violating the rights of others. Now, what does that mean? That you have to have, number one, the clarity on yourself. When I say clarity about yourself or on yourself means that you should be able to know what your needs are, what your feelings are, what your opinions are. There's a difference between an opinion and passing a comment or something. I'll explain it a little bit. And beliefs. Now, beliefs are nothing which are probably a system or thought processes which are inbuilt in you in your subconscious mind and how they operate. And lastly, the most common mistake people do, sometimes you might have done it yourself, or I might have done it too at times. What I'm feeling and what I'm communicating could be different. So, what you need to learn as a skill when you're talking about assertiveness, that what you're feeling and what you need to communicate should be in alignment. So, we'll be discussing all that. So, let's continue with what assertiveness is. So, assertiveness is not same as aggressive behavior. A lot of my clients and people ask me, is assertiveness is the similar as being aggressive? And the answer is no. And why I say that, please listen to it carefully. Assertiveness when you are firm and at the same time you're very comfortable what you're trying to tell people. But aggression is different from assertiveness, where basically you are talking little louder voice, your tonality changes, and sometimes because of the aggression, your hand movement changes too. And assertiveness is none of those. Assertiveness is that you are very calm inside and you are very firm, and your voice doesn't need to change when you're talking to somebody or putting across your point. So, what will I do? So, as you can see, it helps you to become self confident. It increases the self esteem, gain respect of others, improve communication skills, improve decision making ability. So, of course, when you are able to put your point across with clarity and with the conviction that what you are saying is true in your mind, or probably it is probably you have some data points to prove it, so your self confidence will rise. Increases self esteem. Now, what self esteem is, please understand this carefully. Now, confidence is a different, it's a feeling where you feel confident what you are saying and doing is correct. Self esteem, that you're putting a value to it. So, where you feel that whatever you are sharing with the people or group of people or professionally, non professionally, you are contributing a value to it. And respect of others, of course, when you're able to speak carefully and with clarity, you are able to gain the respect of others. And of course, communication skills, yes, they have to increase and improve, and decision making. So your ability, basically, you'll be able to more comfortable making bigger decisions which you have not been able to do. How to be assertive? This is one of the very important lessons we need to learn, and I think it should be taught very early. That what does it mean to be assertive, right? So number one, and the utmost important is that you have to be honest. Now, for example, like if I'm feeling, let's say you're sitting in a big group and you are, four people are talking and you are kind of not agreeing with them somewhere. And, but scientific um, procedures have shown that what happens when you're sitting in a big group and if somebody is saying something, so other people tend to follow him or her. But in that case, if you're able to, if you are able to understand yourself with clarity, and if you're can be honest about it, okay, you can say, I'm sorry, I disagree with this point of yours, or um, something. You're able to put across your feelings, your needs, your beliefs at the same time. I think you have achieved to be assertive. And it's not that easy. I'm telling you, it's not. Because there are times when you're sitting in a meeting, or there are times when you're in your home, or professionally, non-professionally, you are going to have those circumstances where you have to be sometimes politically correct and you're not able to say something. But most of the times, if you need to practice assertiveness, you need to be more in presence of it. And if you're able to do it more often, you're able to achieve assertiveness. Second one is express yourself firmly. Now, I don't know how many times I've used this word firmly whenever assertiveness comes and being assertive comes. So, whatever the message you're planning to, or you're put across to the people you're talking to directly, like for instance, in a large group, there's certain people you're addressing, right? So, but what you need to do, one of the best things you could do, make an eye contact, just speak to them directly as if you're talking to them, even if it's a larger group, it doesn't matter. Second, you have to be very, like it says, you have to be very specific to those individual while making your eye contacts. And firm. Firm does not mean, again, raising your voice. Firm means that you're very sure of what you're saying, or you have a conviction of what you're saying. Be reasonable in your request. Now, you cannot, like, assertive does not mean that you can go out of a certain boundaries of things, what you're planning to do. So you have to be doing it within a boundary limit. How to be assertive? Now, this is going to be another big one where we'll be understanding how we can be more assertive. So, number one, state your viewpoint without being hesitant or apologetic. Even if you say something which is against the crowd or against the group of people, you cannot be hesitant. Like, you cannot say, I'm sorry, or I think, yeah, and you cannot take it back. So you have to be confident when you're saying that. You cannot be hesitant over it. Or apologetic. Apologetic is like, oh, I'm sorry, I take it back, I don't think that's true, or something new. So you don't have to do any of these things. So if you say, let's say the sun is rising from east, or sun rises from the east, that's it. So you cannot say, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot, it's not that east, it's a little bit north, something, you cannot put any more additional knowledge to it, what you have already delivered. So basically, whatever knowledge you're saying or you're doing, it should be done in a certain way that people don't get confused at all, and they feel that you're very assertive while you're talking. Second is, be honest when you're giving or receiving feedback. Yeah, this is an important one too. So what does that mean? So you can practice this, like in your everyday. I say to people, when somebody compliments you, say it with a smilingly, thank you so much, and same to you, or something. If it's a beautiful day, if somebody compliments you and you say, oh, thank you so much, and you too have a beautiful day, or something like that. So you practice it quite often. When you have to deliver it more professionally, you are more comfortable with it. So you have to be honest, like giving or receiving anything. So receiving, you have to learn first receiving well, because a lot of people have this big limiting block. And literally, when I say that, professionals, non-professionals, to receive things, in constructive manner, whether it's a constructive feedback or it's any of those things. So please learn how to receive it more gracefully. And when somebody, like, it could be as simple as that. When somebody compliments you, just say it smilingly, thank you, or same to you, or something like that. Please start doing that, because if your receiving is getting better, I can guarantee you your giving would get better also. Number 3, learn to say to unreasonable expectations. Oh, yes, very big one. And a lot of people who I coach, they have issues of self-esteem, self-worth, people pleasing, putting their needs, their values, their belief system aside and taking care of other people's. So these are the people who have very hard time saying no. So please, I encourage to those people, whenever you need to say no, now say it firmly. Again, be assertive. If something doesn't feel right to you, please say it, and you start practicing it as many times as you can with your family to begin with. Sometimes all of these learnings, the skills which we basically improve upon later in our life, start with the family, right? The family, the school system, everything. So even for you, when you have to say no, tell your children, youth, or anybody, say it firmly. Say that, okay, if I don't want something, I don't want it. If I don't like something, I don't like it. So make them comfortable, so they practice it a lot, uh, when to say no, and they can say it very firmly as well. Number 4, paraphrase what others have stated to you. So you need to paraphrase it to what others are stating to you, putting their point of view also in front of you. It's not that you totally deflect what they are saying. So you have to be very careful, because sometimes in a rush, you might have, like, overlooked something. So paraphrase what others have stated to you is equally important when you are assertive. So next is how to be assertive. So this was also very important. We are continuing. So here we talk about, in this slide, we talk about what you can do to be assertive, right? So recognize and respect the rights of those around you. So it could be believe me when I say that, even if it's a 2-year-old child, or if it's a 4-year-old child, 5, they have their own self-respect too. They might not be able to communicate it that well, but a 5-year-old can definitely do that. They say if they don't like something. So you have to be respectful to the people who are around you. Use appropriate tone of voice. I cannot emphasize on this enough. There's a very thin line being saying politely something and crossing a line and becoming more aggressive about it, right? You might feel like some people, they have high tonality in their voice, which means they talk a little louder, and some people have the low tonality, which is they speak very softly. But having said that, does not mean that you can use to your own advantage. Like, aggressiveness is very different. Like I said, I just explained to you, from being assertive. But you also need to, like I said, you have to improve on the skill. When who are you talking to, right? So in that case, you learn that you have to keep a specific tone of your voice when you're delivering something. In also presentations, you might find that people use different tonality when they have to emphasize on something, right? Okay, I need to tell you this. So the tone become a little higher, so that you're able to grasp the attention, right? Their attention. So this is what I'm talking about. But there are times when there needs to be talked very softly. You can also bring your tonality of your voice down and you can talk. And none of this means like being aggressive. Number three, be aware of body language and the posture. Of course, you need to be in control of yourself when you're assertive, because you cannot be like, oh, can I tell you something? It's not going to work. Yeah. Okay. Can I tell you something? I'm talking about something. You can use your hand gestures. That's all good. That's when you talk. You're making it more, presenting it more firmly. You're making it with conviction. All is good. Maintain an eye contact. Yes, did I say that? So, like in the previous slides, I talked to you about if you're addressing a small group of people in the larger like area or larger presentation, you need to maintain, okay, I'm talking to you. You might have seen it in big presentations how people talk on the when they are on the stages. So they would just look around, they would say, oh, I'm telling you this, or I'm telling this. So they have a specific messages to be delivered to different sections of the crowd. So that's what it means, really. Sometimes you are talking to them, all right, you know, some, let's say youth is sitting here, you need to address something for youth. You will just try to look there so they feel that you are talking to them directly. Or you need to address adults here, so you know, just address them. And so you have to maintain an eye contact when you say. It should look very natural, as if you're talking very uh, actually very casually, yet you're delivering good messages which needs to be heard. Use I statements to express self. So I is because now we're talking assertive, right? We are not talking about a people. We do it together. We should do it. So we comes when you're basically talking about a group of people and you are presenting them. But when you're talking of being assertive, you're presenting yourself, right? So you say, all right, I'm trying to tell you this, that this is so important. Please pay attention to this. This is going to lead to better results. So I am giving you, because you're taking the charge of that. And assertive definitely means that you are in control of yourself. You are in charge of yourself, and that's what you are doing, right? So assertive is like a more of a, like a self-confidence 10 times 10. So you know what you are doing, right? So that's how you talk. So let's move on to the next one, how to be assertive, right? So let's talk about this, what you need to do, what you need not to, right? So don't let others impose their values and ideas on you. Like I said, there was an experiment done scientifically where there were a group of people given the same kind of question, and one of them had a different view about it, but he agreed to the group. So this is what happens when you're sitting in a group and you're trying to follow the crowd. So you have to be very careful when you deliver yourself or deliver your thoughts, views, values, ideas. You have to be assertive, so others don't have an influence on you. Like clearly you can see in this picture, if I show you here, you see in this picture over here, like if they're holding a card and all of them here, all of them are saying zero, you know, and if any one of them was thinking any other number than zero, is holding back. So this is the influence of the people or the environment can have it on you. So please learn to be assertive, that no matter what, you're able to speak your truth, speak your feelings, speak your ideas, and moreover, speak your values. Because if you feel this is going to harm you or hurt you or do something, you should be able to say, no, I'm not doing this. See what I'm trying to tell you. Number two, encourage others to be clear and direct. So once you start practicing or honing your skills on being assertive, you would also encourage others to be, you know, being more direct and being more honest. And, you know, that helps both ways. So once you say, all right, I'm not going to be doing this anymore, this is how I am, you will find people will start doing that as well. So you have to be like, that's what we call as being authentic, right? We keep saying that thing, but it's not easy to be authentic. One of the toughest things, because there are times in your life where you are made to follow a certain way to certain things, right? But that's what it encourages, like, so you would encourage, no, no, that's fine, feel comfortable. This is a safe environment for you to open up, speak your feelings of things. So if you are able to do it, other person will also match up to that. And my rights are, so here we'll be talking about what my rights are and how I should be presenting myself. So these are the certain pointers I'll be talking about. And the right to respect myself. So it starts with you. So if you want to improve on skills of becoming more assertive, so it's definitely going to start with you, right? Right to respect myself because who I am. Even if you are in the opposite direction, wherever you are, you just need to respect yourself, right? Number two, how to lead my life. Now, again, pursuing my goals and dreams. So you have to be very uh, clear in your mind what your dreams are, what your goals are, and what your basically vision is. Again, in the previous slide I just showed you, we get so much influenced by the external factors, but you have to keep moving forward thinking that who you are and what is your authenticity of doing things. So please understand that. Number three, have my own values and beliefs, etc. Yes, of course. Everybody has their own values, their own belief systems. Every individualistic person is into the way they want to lead their life. That's what the individualism means, and that what means that everybody has their own unique blueprint. Number four, to tell others how I wish to be treated. Of course, that's very important, right? So now in the previous slide, I talked about an art of saying basically no. No means no. So this is what it is. Like when you have to say no, you should be able to say no. When you have to say yes, you should be willing to say yes. So these are the things you start to improve upon when you start thinking from an assertive point of view. So and in that case the people start to respect you, and of course they know who you truly are, they know the how authentic you are, what you do, and they start to gravitate or get attracted towards you. Number five, to change my mind and make mistakes without being ridiculed. Oh, this is the biggest one. So most of the times what happens, let's say you are, let's take an example of a college classroom, right? Everybody's sitting down and the professor is delivering a lesson, and professor says, all right, how many of you agree with me? So everybody, kind of raise their hands, and two of them don't agree, and they don't. But they don't want to raise their hands, but they will eventually, and they do, right? So that is the problem we have. So even if there's no mistake, is a small mistake, please feel free to, even if you have one of the, if I may say, the stupidest questions, that's fine, because you are trying to understand a situation or circumstances or anything from a different point of view should not be ridiculed. So you must learn that to change my mind and make mistakes without being ridiculed is one of the biggest things. Even the small child, let's go back to the 5-year old, even if they do something foolish, that's fine, that's how they are, that's how they're presenting themselves, being authentic at that point of time of understanding of that situation. So this is all good. So you must understand not to ridicule anybody, and not to get ridiculed yourself, and not to feel bad about it. And my rights are. So this is the one we'll be talking about in detail, what these things are and um, what does it mean. So the first one, to have positive, healthy, satisfying relationship in which I'm safe and respected. I know it's just a simple language is being used, but it is what it is, right? It's so simple. It is, there's no rocket science in it, basically. I mean, you have to be in positive state of mind, which is a very, very important. You have to feel very healthy within yourself, satisfying relationship. And the first relationship, you always start with yourself, and then you expand it out to your surroundings and other people, where you feel safe, where you feel respected, where you feel heard. Like if somebody's listening to you and they are also acknowledging what you're trying to say, you feel good about it, right? So there's so many times in our life when you're trying to deliver something and somebody says, "Oh wow, but that is fascinating. That is so good. I wish I can apply it in my life." So you feel good about it. You feel validated. No, but I always say that external validations are always good, but start to validate yourself first. Say, all right, what I'm doing is right, what I'm doing is okay. That is a positive mindset now, right? So you start validating yourself. You don't need anybody before going out and delivering anything. So you say, all right, this is what I'm doing, this is what I like, this is the clarity I have about my values and ideas and belief systems and opinions, and this is what I'll be doing, right? So that being more assertive. Second one is to change and develop my life how I determine. So this is an important one. So if let's say this is about your mindset. Now, what is a mindset? Mindset has the ability for you to see the different possibilities whenever you're trying to achieve a goal, purpose, or an aim. Now, what does that mean? So a mindset is the one where it allows you to see different possibilities. Sometimes things work in your favor, sometimes things don't work in your favor. Now, the times when the things are not working in your favor is giving you an opportunity to look at the things differently as well. So, there is an opportunity also and a possibility. So, to change and develop my life, how I determine. So you develop that kind of mindset in you that I can change it anytime. I can mold it the way I want. This is my life. And I will find out if this is not working, I'll work with this. If this is not working, I'll work with this or this. So you are the basically creator of your life. So you don't need an external, um, again, the validation. So you can keep going the way you want to create your life. To be happy and at peace. Now that's an important one because I wanted to take it uh, in little bit details, like to be happy and at peace. Now, happy, a lot of people have a lot of definitions. What does it mean to be happy? And happy is also very personalized. If you ask me, some people find happiness as one thing, other people find happiness another thing. So happiness is very personalized. So you have to find your, let's what we call it, happy place or happy space. So you have to find out what you really, really like doing, what you just enjoy. Where, now this is important, please pay attention to this one, where you forget to see your time, what's going on. You don't check your time when you're doing something. That's the thing you enjoy the most, where you forget about looking at your time or phone or anything. So that's the thing you should be paying attention to. And there must be like few of those things you might need to always rekindle them. There will be from your childhood. There will be something which you just loved and it gave you so much of giggles, joy, and you just forgot about the time when you were doing those things. So that will lead you at peace. So that will give you so much of joyness or so much of fulfillment after being so happy about that particular whatever thing you did, that will lead you at peace. So that's what is also very important. Now, assertiveness again, and we'll be talking about it, what it is, and how we should look at it. Okay, assertiveness is doesn't just happen. It's a culmination of Lot of things you have to do it as a behavior point of view, right? You as a behavior, you need to understand that you have to do, because this is a skill you improve upon. This is a skill you basically hone on. So you have to do certain things to understand what assertiveness is. Number two, does not guarantee your happiness or fair treatment. I mean, you have to practice it a lot. It's not that, oh, I'm assertive, oh, I said something firmly today, I'm all good. I'm good to go. This is giving me happiness. No, this will definitely, um, I can assure you of one thing. If you start becoming more assertive, this would help you to be at peace at all the times, because now what you're doing is you're talking about your authenticity. You're talking about your values. You're talking about your opinions, your ideas, your belief system, and you're being honest about them. You're not feeling shy away, right? So it is not like something, it's not a switch. So you have to practice it a lot to be in that state, right? Assertiveness will not solve all your problems. Of course, it will not. And nothing is guaranteed 100%. We all know that, right? And lastly, it does not guarantee you will get what you want. So it does not guarantee you. So it is like one of the skills you start to practice, and the more authentic, and we all know that the more authentic we become, the more who we are we become, we are able to, for some reason, being in a happy place or being in a more fulfillment place. So we all know that theory, right? So we a lot of people who have gone through that process, they vouch for it. So we know that part. So assertiveness will definitely take its time, and it is a skill you need to build upon. So thank you so much for joining me for learning about assertiveness, and hope to see you next time. I'll bring up with another topic, and we will be talking some more. So I'm glad you all enjoyed it, and I shall see you next time. Thank you so much for your time and patience.